got my 2020 GMC 1500 AT4 crew cab short bed that I've had now with this Dirt King long travel kit for a few months. After discussing a lot of different options of what I was looking to obtain, and hats off to Gary Graham, a buddy of mine, longtime friend of within the industry that also has done a lot of trucks. If you are not familiar with that name, he owns Dezert trucks. He's also owned a few other shops that have done trucks like this. And basically with his knowledge and basically what I was looking to achieve, we discussed different options of truck platforms to start with to build this truck. So we came across this white AT4 Carbon Edition at the dealership, and the price was right. It was a beautiful truck, and decided to take it home. And instantly talked to Gary, got me set up with Nick Gardner over at Dirt King down in San Diego. And that basically started off the whole build, where I started talking to Nick, and between Gary and Nick, we came together with this overall combination of suspension and everything else that you see done to the truck, which I'll get over the details here in a second about the truck. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of history of what, you know, brought me to this truck, because there is a lot of guys that are building trucks like this. You generally see the Ford Raptors or older Chevys that are built out, and also you see a lot of guys with two-wheel drive setups with more suspension travel. So I'm a GM Chevy guy, not so much a Ford guy these days, and I just really like the Chevy and GMC platform. The interiors, the exteriors, just everything about them I just really like, and that was the direction I wanted to go. I'm not calling this a Raptor killer or anything like that. Okay, so let's get into exactly how this truck is built now that I explained to you what I wanted to be able to do with the truck. Baja, I wanted to go over different passes in Colorado and just do adventuring off-road, spirited, at speeds, not at speeds, maybe going over some rough terrain, rocky terrain, not rock crawling, but still need four-wheel drive. Okay, so like I said, talked to Nick Gardner down at Dirt King, and we came up with this combination here. This is the Dirt King long travel front suspension kit. It's cool in a couple different ways. One being that it's very streetable. It has ball joint style upper control arms. They're not Heims, which usually you'll see Heims on the uppers and lowers. And this one, it has ball joints. So that's a little bit more reliable on streetability, not so noisy or sticky feeling and what have you. So that was another plus on this combination. We are running the long travel upper control arms and the lower control arms to go with it, and running, so this one has 2.5-inch coilovers, King coilovers, and then it's got next to it a 3.0 King triple bypass. And also with that, I wanted to upgrade and go with the 2-inch bump stop, okay? And that right there was gonna give me a little bit more performance off-road. Basically, when it comes down to it, I'm gonna go over to these details here. This kit is talking 13 inches of travel, full four-wheel drive usability in, you know, four-wheel drive, 13 inches of travel with their front axle kit, because the width is wider and these axle shafts are wider than factory. And 13 inches is not the ultimate travel that you see at some of these like a Tundra, or in four-wheel drive, a Tundra or a Ford Raptor. But for me, what I'm using it for, 13 inches is totally fine. It actually performs really well. But I did go with the air bump stops and the triple bypasses just to be able to gain as much performance out of the 13 inches that I have available out of this kit. Dirt King also did their plate kit that they have for the frame that basically plates the frame. And you can see it in between the bucket there. There's a plate, and then on the back side too as well. The front side did not get the plate because at the time that I actually had the original long travel kit installed. We had the air bumps installed, you know, welded it to the frame. So they couldn't go back in and put the plate underneath it, but that's plenty fine though. And then if you notice that there is that mount right there, that is for the engine brace from this bucket over to the other bucket, the top of the engine brace, to give it a little bit more rigidity. It also has limit straps on it. And as you can see, this truck is not super clean right now. It is showing some dirt and some wear. I have had it off-road multiple times now since it was done, and it performs great. Like I said, I mean, when I say great, great for my personal need and what I was expecting out of it. Sure, there's more you can get out of these trucks, but for me, plenty fine with it. I want to also note that these tires that I'm running, since we're on the front right here and we're going over everything, the tires are a 37 1250 Nitto Ridge Grappler, and these tires have been great. Like, I've never had a hybrid tire like this, and I looked up a lot of different videos and a lot of different, you know, what people were saying, you know, between these and the Toyos, and I came to the conclusion to go with these Nittos. And it's unbelievable, out of the years that I've been doing, you know, trucks and going off-road, again, not pre-runner stuff, but still, you know, going off-road in mud and dirt and rocks. These tires right here have multiple trips out to the desert, to the dunes, driving around town, and I mean, it's unbelievable how they're barely showing any wear or any type of abuse. And that's just the front. I've not rotated. About due for a rotation. And these rears, the same thing. It's, I mean, I'm just blown away how well these tires are wearing. Definitely, they're not cheap, but like right there, you can see a little bit of a gash right there and a little bit, but that's it. I mean, it's crazy. And this truck's been, like I said, it's been to King of the Hammers. It's been to Johnson Valley now a couple times. It's been to Barstow a couple times, Glamis multiple times, and a few other areas we've had it out. So it's definitely has not been just driven around town off the dirt. Those tires have been in the dirt multiple times. Since we're at the wheels and tires, I'll tell you these Impacts by KMC. Great looking wheel. They are bead locks, and the specs on them are 17x9s, -12 offset, and in the rear I am running a 1.5 inch rear. Actually, it might be a 2-inch wheel spacer. It might be a 2-inch wheel spacer if I'm not mistaken, to just bring out that rear width just to match the front. But those right there, they're great wheels. Haven't had any issues with them. Like I said, I haven't rotated yet. I'm about due for it. So I want to say I'm due for a rotation. I would have to look at the mileage, but this truck's probably got, since it was done, about 7,000 miles on it. Probably should be rotating them every 5,000 miles. So that's the information on the front suspension. Let's get over to the rear here, and we'll talk about the rear. So on the rear, I opted to go with their bed cage. You can see there. And then with their bed cage, they are using 16-inch triple bypasses. These are also 2.5s, or excuse me, 3 inchers in the triple bypasses, 16-inch travel Kings. And they go to a top plate on top of the leaf spring pack. And these are the Deaver R81 long travel springs that are underneath this truck. Limit straps as well. The rear, from what I believe, is pulling 16, 17 inches. out of the rear. You can check out 𝗏𝗏𝗿𝗀𝗃's website and get true specs off of it. And again, this thing's strapped and it is due. I mean, I have not had the shocks tuned yet. That's one of the next things that are on the list to get done, is to tune the shocks. R81s, Deavers, springs. So the truck has a little bit of a drop in the rear. I also have 2 spare tires, a jack and a CO2 bottle, which I'll get into here in a second. That's in the rear, so I've got some extra weight in the rear to keep the back end down. That's contributing to how the truck is sitting a little higher in the front than the rear. So let's talk about the bed cage, bed shock cage. So I've got a 2.5 ton jack, and that's just a 𝗪𝗵𝗴𝗵𝗴 setup, nothing special. But this mount right here is Solo Motorsports. This pops up, this whole thing comes out, and it's got a skid plate to slide in the sand. There's or dirt, there's no wheels on it, so that helps out. And then the Solo Motorsports comes with these little mounts right here for the handle, and that's how they mounted it on this truck. We'll go over to the other side here. And this side has my CO2 tank, which is a 15-pound tank. And I don't run a gauge regulator setup. This is just full pressure. I forgot what the pressure is on this setup here. But I just open it up and then I just run full pressure. I don't regulate the pressure off this bottle. I just use it for airing up tires. And this 15-pound tank lasts a long time. I can air up these 37s from 12 psi to 35 psi, and multiple times, let alone my wife's rig and my son's rig. That tank holds a lot of pressure, a lot of fill-ups. Underneath this cover right here, and this is a 𝗙𝗿𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗃 cover that originally I bought. This is online, 𝗙𝗿𝗵𝗵𝗃, and this is for 37s. I bought 2 of these covers thinking that I would have to, because I have 2 37s underneath there stacked, I would have to run one for each. But this one draped, covered a 2-stack. So that worked out really nice. And then just a Y strap from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃, real simple, straightforward. Open up the tailgate here. Show you what it looks like. And then I've got some mounting points right here, clevises that click in on both sides. Usually what I've been doing is doing a ice chest on this side and then a box with recovery gear and what have you, so that I don't have to get into the back seat, because I was doing the back seat thing where everything's underneath it, and that's where all my stuff lives. But on a trip, it's nice to have it out in a box, so then I'm pulling it right out to my tailgate and getting to it. I don't have to move around stuff on the seat to get to it. What else we got going on here? So let's jumping around just a little bit, but let's talk about, that was the bed. Let's talk about the bed sides and the front fenders. These are FiberWorks fiberglass fenders in the rear, and we also have them in the front. They line up really well. You can see there the gap. And then on the hood, pretty much on the same on the rear too as well. And then that valance is also FiberWorks as well. And then everything, all the fiberglass is Line-X'd on the inside. So all that is Line-X'd. and from what they've told me is that that just helps out with the strength so it doesn't get any spider cracks. I can't really get in there to show you on that side, but you can see it. So that works out really well. It gives a little bit more strength to the fiberglass, and then little alone too, it helps keep get dirt from sticking to the inside of the fiberglass as well. So that worked out really well. Let's go over to the other side here. Actually, you know what? Right here, this Dirt King, this bumper is not a bolt. It is a bolt-on, but they don't really sell them for the GMCs because the GMCs have a couple different configurations on how you can go about doing the front bumper. So this one right here is a bolt-on. They did have to make it custom in-house for this truck. Again, like I said, it just comes down to how you want it personally. I asked them to cut it off short on the edge and then do a little pusher bar out the front, holding on these 5 LP6s. Nice little profile there. That's on the front end. And then let's go over to the back here. The back bumper is their plated bumper. And I had that powder coated white to just blend with the truck. I just felt the black kind of just stands out a little bit. And then they Linexed the top of the bumper as well. My thought was that if I needed to step on it, then I'm not stepping on powder coat, but then after it was, you know, all together and I had the truck back, I realized you really don't step on that thing. It's not enough meat there to step on it. The ledge is just, it's too small, so you don't end up stepping on it. They also did the Linex on the top rail of the fender. That works out really nice. So when you're leaning over it and what have you, there's no issues on that, scratching the paint or anything like that. I got their hitch that sucks up. The factory one would be down further because the bumper hangs down further. So this one tucks it up a lot higher, and it's just really nice and clean, tucked up higher, matches the bumper. So that was nice. The rears also, I forgot to mention, the rears has their shackle kit too. So it's got the R81s with their shackle kit in the rear. Since we're on the back side of the truck, I'll also go into the other lights that I had installed. Actually, I did this myself. This right here is the Evil Manufacturing third brake light. You know, I was mixed feelings. You know, I was ordering it, and a lot of people had told me some bad things about just time frame and what have you. If you like this third brake light, it's a cool brake light assembly in the housing. Really nothing bad to say about the configuration of it and how it went all together and everything. It just, you know, it just takes them a long time to get to you. So that's the only bad thing. I had the work clears on the outside. That's just, you know, it's a floodlight to just be able to see into the bed at night. And then I did the chase lights in a flood as well. And those ones are not the brighter of the two. I got the ones that aren't as bright. I forgot which model they are, forgive me, but the reason why I didn't go with the chase lights that were super bright was because they're not the, so on the chase lights you have either a flood like that, or you have a flood spot, or you have a spot. And the spots are just so piercing to the people behind you. I went with the flood, so it still gives you the effect to be able to see, you know, when you're in dust, but they're not so piercing when you're driving. And then as you can see, I've got the rugged radio antenna. That mount is on that third brake light, so that works out really well to mount everything. Let's go on the inside real quick here, and I'll show you. I've got the rugged radio right there, and it's mounted to the front wall of my center console. And then I ran the wire for the mic down through the bottom of that, and then I poked it out right in between there. And so when I'm just not using off-road, I just put that right in there, get it out of the way. But then when I'm off-road, I've got it on a magnet, so it's easy to grab a hold of. Real simple. And then usually when I'm off-road, I'll have a suction cup, quad lock suction cup right here, holding another phone with lead nav or Onyx off-road, just to be able to see, you know, pinpoints of where we're trying to go. I don't run it through my deck through the CarPlay just because I don't like the functionality when it's going through CarPlay. I just like it raw on the phone, or a tablet or what have you. So I just have it sitting right there. Works out real nice. You can see that this right here is a SDHQ mount bezel for the 𝗙𝗿𝗵𝗴𝗀 switch panel. I also have in the engine compartment, I have the SDHQ module mount that goes to the firewall for the 𝗙𝗿𝗵𝗴𝗀s as well. So that worked out really, really nice. And yes, if you noticed in the video, this is hanging down. That's for my hood release. I broke the latch and have not replaced it yet. So there you go. Yeah, I am human. Got a nice little shorty antenna, simple little upgrade. Windshield is tinted 5% on the very top, just to cut down when we're out in the desert, just cut down on just the sun, glare and everything. The sides are limo, and then limo over the rear sides as well. So it's pretty dark on the inside of the truck, but that's just that's how I like it. And then let's see what else I got on my list here. Oh, you know what? I was gonna tell you about the steps. Get a lot of comments about these side steps. People say, why don't you just take them off? They look funky. Go no steps. Honestly, hate to say it, I actually found, I looked for these specifically. I saw them on a couple trucks and I really liked them. I liked the texture and just how they looked and how they were open. These are the GM off-road high clearance steps, and my truck didn't come with these. My truck came with steps that went down lower, and I took those off, and then I found these on OfferUp and bought these specifically for my truck because I wanted high clearance, but I wanted a nice step, a nice platform to step on. You can knock your shoes off getting inside the truck. You can stand, I mean, just a nice platform. People don't like them sometimes, and I've had a couple comments about taking off the steps, but they also act as a debris deterrent, you know, on the side of the truck. You know, a lot of the debris will hit right there and block it. Of course, I still get dirt that goes flying up on the side, but it's just not as harsh as it would be otherwise. Performance-wise, it's pretty much stock truck. Nothing's done to it. I do have the Pulsar LT tuner, and that doesn't actually tune for performance. It just recalibrates for the tire size and the speedometer. It also turns off the auto stop. I forgot what it's called, but it turns that off. So when I come to a stop light, I don't have to manually turn that off on my dash. And it also turns off where it goes down to 4 cylinders because there's known to have lifter issues with these trucks because of that mode that it has. And the only way to turn that off is with a Pulsar or to have it custom tuned by someone. But I used a Pulsar and turned all that off and then recalibrated for the tire size. That's the only reason why I'm using it. There's no tuning performance, you know, positive side of things. It doesn't do anything like that. It just fixes the shift points and the tire size, what have you. And then you're gonna probably wanna hear how this thing sounds, and let's start it up. This thing is running 3-inch. So that is a 3-inch exhaust, stainless, from the muffler, from the coupler up front, all the way through the muffler and out the side is all stainless 3-inch. The muffler is going to be a Black Widow Venom 250 in the 3-inch straight inline inlet and outlet, and I like it. It's not too throaty at idle. When it cold starts, I'll put a cold start clip in here. When it cold starts, it's louder, but once it warms up, it's really not that loud, and it sounds pretty nice. So that's the exhaust right there. But when you do get on the gas, it sounds great as well. So kind of happy middle to where around town it's not crazy annoying, and you can drive it on the highway, no drone or anything like that. But when it opens up, it sounds good. Just the best of both worlds. But yeah, that's my 2020 GMC 1500 AT4. Be able to use it off-road and go out on adventures and get, you know, have some spirited driving off-road. And this truck has definitely been taking care of all my needs, making me happy. It does great. Four-wheel drive is just awesome. In Glamis, this thing can go out to swing set, no problem. Obviously goes out to Olds and other places like that, but a lot of people have problems going out to swing set without four-wheel drive, and this thing point and shoot and it just goes. So very happy with it. Down in the description, I'll do my best to give as many details and links and information to everything that's on the truck. Sorry for such a long video, but when I was looking to build this truck, there was really no other videos. If you search around, really Dirt King and Desert Trucks, Gary are the only guys that you find posting trucks like this. You have a bunch of other people, Terra Crew guys, and a bunch of other guys in the off-road pre-runner world, you know, posting videos about trucks, but not too many of them in the four-wheel drive genre. And then after that, you kind of get into more of the overlanding guys, you know, those type of trucks. So really this type of truck, you know, four-wheel drive wise, I never really found anyone else posting about them or any feedback about these trucks and this suspension kit and what you can get out of it and if they were happy or not. So, you know, I wanted to spend some time, go over the details on this truck, why I built it, and how it's been performing for me. And like I said, I'm very happy with it. It's not the ultimate pre-runner because it's not two-wheel drive race kit status, but being a four-wheel drive truck, capabilities of going anywhere you want to go on your own, whether you're going to go, I have plans to do some of the passes in Colorado, go out to Arizona, Flagstaff area, Baja, and, you know, obviously go up to Big Bear and, you know, do Mojave Trail, just do an all-around fun truck. It hauls ass and it's plenty capable, and that's what I was looking to do with my truck build, and so far I've been very happy with it. You can follow me on my Instagram page. I post a lot there at @nik.v70, and that's where you can see a lot of the smaller video clips of this truck out and about in all the different areas that I go to with it and enjoying the truck. I'll do my best to answer you back, or hit me up on Instagram. That's usually where I'm more active, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Another good shout out, solid guy to talk to is Nick at Dirt King. His name's Nick Gardner. He's the shop manager there, very knowledgeable. He was, and again, I have to say, dealing with Dirt King was awesome. The experience with that company, buying parts and having them build the truck, really nice guys to deal with. Thank you, Nick Gardner, so much for being such a good dude and taking care of me on the truck. Thank you, Gary Graham, for helping me put all these ideas together, put them on paper, and then figure out, you know, where to go with it all, purchasing the truck and then building the truck out the way that you see it. And I plan on having this truck for a long time. Future plans, how much I really like this truck, future plans are I'm not going to get rid of it. If I want to do more to it, and then later date when you know these shops come out with more development for this platform, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if I end up doing something with the rear, doing a spring under, doing a link system, caging the truck, ultimately, I don't plan on getting rid of this truck unless something crazy happens and I want to go a different direction. This is the long haul truck that I plan on keeping for a long time and just continuing to build and enjoying. So that's it right there. Thanks for watching. And again, sorry about the long video, but I hope this is helpful for you. And if you're thinking about it and this is in your future, you will have a lot of fun with it. Very nice truck to have and be able to use. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.